Viktor.
And we're going live. Welcome, welcome to live streams. Today's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes and dudettes. And today is a live streams. You here on the channel where we're talking about all things stream processing, reactive stuff, testing, all things technologically. And today with me, as always, for the last 6 or 7 episodes, my dear friend Sergey. And Sergey come into this live stream with me uh, from Berlin, Germany. I'm coming at you from uh, not so sunny New Jersey. Usually it is much more sunnier than it's usually, but today it's kind of rainy. It's kind of lame. So people, let's make some noise in the comments. Like, how many of you here? Where are you coming from? What are we? What are we? What are you doing here? And things like that. And yeah. So, Sergey, how are you? How was your week or 2 weeks that we took a short break to do stuff?
Well, not bad, not bad. Yeah, actually, okay, it's not released yet, but I guess I'm kind of ready to share that last Wednesday I spent recording an episode. Like I do vlogging now, and I decided that okay, since we are not doing the stream, I'll spend this time still doing some YouTube content and recording the video. So expect some video from me soon. It's not going to be a live stream, obviously, but pre-recorded stuff on test containers.
Oh,
Spoiler,
nice. So
of course,
it's
on
not
test
it's
containers.
it's not it's not vlogging then, because like vlogging is all about like you showing your apartment, you showing how you work, you're going to work, and this kind of stuff. But you actually will be showing some good technical meat, right?
Yeah, actually, I didn't know that vlog is just about your life because I thought it's just blog in a form of video. So
Huh.
that's why I called it vlog. But
Okay.
yeah, nobody cares about my life
Makes
actually.
sense.
But technical stuff, I guess someone would care. So I recorded some of the technical stuff, and yeah, expect some video soon, really soon.
All right. So let's see. Let's see. We have some people coming here in the comments. Let me see. So we do have Ahmed from Winnipeg, Canada. Um,
Nice.
yeah, that's super cool. How's weather there from Winnipeg, Canada? Our regulars, Naveen from India and Pedro from Portugal. Thanks for folks. It's Your feedback is and your support is great. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining. It's great that we not only sitting here by ourselves but also getting some people who understand some of the like internal jokes. I think we already developed some of the good internal like content, so the people showing up.
And
Uh,
the easiest way to spot someone from Eastern Europe is those who start with some snarky jokes like "no technical issues, hey Artyom, no issues this time."
this
I
time
hope.
we spent some time prepping, so that's why no technical difficulties. Everything will run smoothly and swiftly, hopefully. So we'll
It was
see.
such a good idea. We should do it more often. Like, who thought that preparing in advance would give us a good quality from the very beginning?
I think the next thing would be probably preparing some topics up front, maybe, and not come
Yes,
up
too
with
much.
some
Too much.
topic on
No,
spot.
sorry. No, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah. All right, people. So what is going on with your lives? Like, so remember, it's not only about us; it's also about you. So we can answer some of your questions. So that's why we like to many people to join. If, for example, you have a friend who would benefit from this type of content, also tell them about the show. And do not forget, we the show is obviously is a paid show, and we're accepting only likes. So if you hear, you need to pay by your likes. So so far, so good. So far, so good. I'm checking the health of the stream. Just checking that everything is going great. Okay, so I think we can switch to our contact. All right, Sergey, what are we doing today? What's up with that?
Actually, while you was preparing the remaining bits of the stream, I got an idea.
Yay!
And I had this idea for quite a long time, but I know that a lot of people they're not on Twitter, and I have no idea. Like most probably, if you're listening to the streams and or if you're watching the stream, you are on Twitter because we announce everything on Twitter. But it could be that you're not on Twitter or you're not active on Twitter. Or like that was a long introduction, but the idea I had is just iterate over some of the highlights that I got from Twitter over the past week or two.
I
Because
think it's a
a lot
great
of things
idea. As a matter of
happened.
fact, yeah, I think it's a
Yeah,
great
so we
idea.
could just start, just reading Twitter all together.
Okay, let's
What do you
let's
think?
let's do it. So like we see in your screen right now.
Oh yes, we can.
Screen. And while you reading
My
this,
scream.
I'm also doing some of the the promo. Will be sending tweets and sending links to all possible chats, so people will join us.
Sounds good.
Do it.
So, and this one, like I just prepared it like minutes before the stream, so just prepare for it being not prepared. But first thing I wanted to highlight is that, as some of you may know, I've been doing some Groovy development in the past,
No,
and
no way.
yeah, just a little bit of Groovy. Um, and one of the features that I introduced to the language was macro methods. The idea is that that will be really hard to explain. Okay,
Start from
funny
beginning.
story.
Start from beginning. Like let's start long
Okay,
story.
I'll start from the very beginning. With a funny story. So, like 5 years ago, or 4 years, 5 years ago, something like that. I've been attending and speaking at Great Conf in Copenhagen. Copenhagen. That's a Groovy conference where a lot of Groovy folks, like advanced Groovy developers and some beginners as well, they they come to the conference, they discuss Groovy, they share some ideas. That's a nice one, by the way. I really enjoyed the conference.
Can we
And
do a just quick step back? Like I want to
mhm,
talk about Groovy community for just 1 second. And when the
mhm,
Sergey mentioned this, the one of the main reasons why I hook up in this community is because the community was so welcome, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
I learned a lot of things, but just like chatting with people, asking questions in Twitter and that time. So that's why, like, if there's like conference and you feel there's advanced versus like the beginning, you still need to go like that time. I don't know. I unfortunately I don't follow Groovy community anymore, but at that time it was just like a awesome place to be and get some knowledge and the it's not dead yet. Groove is still rolling, and this is brings us to another point, right? Why I keep showing my screen? Yeah. So I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
oh no, no worries. Um, but yeah, and yeah, I definitely want to second your opinion about the Groovy community. It's one of the most welcoming communities I ever participated in. So that made me like be so excited about doing something about Groovy that eventually I ended up contributing to Groovy. And yeah, so I came up with an idea that I will explain later. And I submitted a talk to the conference, to the Great Conf conference in 2015, if I remember correctly. I got accepted. And I was presenting to a room where a lot of Groovy core committers were presented, like Groovy compiler engineers, as well as some other attendees, of course.
Don't be shy. You can
This was
call
one.
names. It's a show where the people need to know the stars. Like Cedric probably was there. Guillaume probably was there.
Actually,
The
Cedric wasn't there, if I remember correctly. He couldn't attend, but Guillaume was there, and I mean,
Dr. Paul King.
almost the whole Groovy team was there. And I also have issues with remembering names. I do better with nicknames. But that's not the point. The point is that most of the team was there, and the result of this talk, and it was also my first experience in giving a talk in English. Um, the result was that I think nobody have understood what I was talking about because first of all, I wasn't that experienced in presenting things, and second is that you know, talking about macro stuff is hard. It's all about compilers and compilers inside compilers. So yeah, it was fun, and I also challenged myself. I was like, yeah, just give me some example of language feature you want, and I will implement it as a live demo.
On the spot.
Um,
Yeah, nice.
yeah, and Guillaume actually challenged me to implement do while, um, and I did implement do while, but I messed up the arguments. So I'm running out of time, and the thing is not working. And if you're watching this stream second, third, or nth time, or if you watched every other stream that we had, then most probably you remember that that's my thing to challenge myself to not implement what I wanted and then finish it seconds after I finish the stream or I finish the demo.
And this
And
is
that's exactly what
this is very
happened.
contagious stuff. Like I start, experiencing the same thing after start doing the streams with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. It was such a relief that I'm not the only one who does that. Anyways, um, and yeah, after I left the room, I actually made it pass, and I was just standing in the hallway and showing others like my screen. You see, it's working. Just have a look here, it's working. But yeah, it was a disaster. But we are talking about the macro methods, and macro methods is a compiler feature that allows you to run the code of the method, the macro method, at compile time and replace the call side of this macro method with the result of the execution of this method. So that, for example, if you want to encode some structure into JSON at compile time, you can do that with the macro method. Just at compile time, you know all the fields, you know how to concatenate the string correctly so that it will represent some JSON. And instead of doing this JSON encoding at runtime, you do it at compile time. You also have access to the compiler context so that you can add current line. And if you want to do some smart loggings that will point to the exact line in the code without any compiler or any runtime overhead, you can also do that, and many other features. But unfortunately, the feature wasn't really popular. There wasn't really a lot of adoption of this feature. There was a guy from Japan, if I remember correctly,
I think
who
the
was
features like this, like a meta programming and like building stuff at the compile time. It's just like something that's very niche in terms of like it's powerful, but yeah, you need to know what to use. And
Mhm.
if there's not enough um, like external things that would use it, for example, like ISTs is very powerful, and the reason why IST become very popular because there was out of the box ISTs that you can start using and getting some of the cool stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, and by the way, macro methods is just a shortcut to a global AST transformation, actually. So we can do the same with global AST transformation, but macro methods make it much easier.
Yeah, with the DSL style.
Mhm. And yeah, you made a good point that existing AST transformations in Groovy, it's very easy to follow them, and that's how I started working on some Groovy AST transformations. I was just looking at the existing code in the compiler, and I was just following the same approach because at the end, like at the end of the day, you're just mutating some objects. And we are Java developers. We know how to mutate objects, right? Or how to construct new objects. So AST transformations, if we oversimplify it, is just instantiating and mutating some objects. Just you have
Right.
to know how code is represented in memory, but then there are tools that help you, like Groovy Console and others. Um, so yeah, but now, or now, but few days, weeks ago, I don't remember. Okay, actually, yeah, couple of weeks ago, I've been doom scrolling Twitter, and I noticed a tweet by Daniel Sun. Daniel Sun is okay. Here comes the joke, but he's the
Internal.
son of Groovy at the moment. Like he is shining, he is bringing light to the Groovy, and this is great because once Groovy went to Apache Groovy community, there was a bit of a shift of contributors. Like some stopped contributing for reasons. And the Groovy language also got some new contributors. And if I remember correctly, Daniel joined the Groovy project or started actively working on Groovy project when Groovy went to Apache. He is also like the person behind this new Antor 4 parser for Groovy, which was also a great improvement that made it possible to use things like lambdas from Java and other cool things in
Also
Groovy
known as a
3.6.
Parrot compiler.
Yes,
Parrot
exactly.
carrot. Yeah,
Exactly.
Parrot.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember it's Parrot Compiler. Um, and yeah, Daniel is known for experimenting with the language. He's really trying to get the most out of the language. It's not always, or like some experiments are not always accepted by the community. Not all of his ideas went into the language, but this one, I do hope that it will go into the language because he been working on a macro method that implements link-like syntax for Groovy. And I hope that you can see this screenshot just fine. But as you can see here, we can just do stuff like from p in JSON persons, inner join t in JSON tasks on t assign equals p dot id. All this fancy link style syntax can be done with macro method and this GINQ top level method.
Link
That's a
was
macro method.
language integrated query link. It's a little bit mouthful.
Yeah,
Language integrated query language or like language
yeah, exactly.
integrated queries, and was
Yeah.
popularized in C# world, um, and was quite powerful and quite. I think people use it a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
it's now it looks like it's going to Groovy to give this. I don't know if it's not even like it's not it's not maybe it's a declarative, right? It is declarative.
It is declarative. Yeah.
Essentially, it's defined kind of like a the SQL like SQL like language, right?
Mm-hmm.
For writing this type of expressions. That's pretty cool. And we slowly, it just remind me that if you in this the Groovy Jazz, there's a great podcast called Groovy Podcast. Um,
Yep. Yep.
that's this stuff is discussed, and hopefully they will discuss these things as new um in a new episodes. Yeah. Yeah, so the Artyom is asking, is it the Parrot parser? Yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
Parrot parser. But underneath it uses Antler library that
Mm-hmm.
handles all this the compilation and the grammar and the parsing of the grammar and source code type of thing. So yep, that's pretty dope. Um, what uh, what we have next?
But before we continue, I just wanted to say that another thing about this Jink, or I don't even know how to pronounce it,
Jink,
but
I like it. It's
yeah,
there's
okay,
yeah.
the Jink. The cool thing about Jink is that it is a module, and since it's a macro method, it can extend the compiler just by providing a module for the compiler. You can also write your own module that will be using macro methods. And there are some examples of data tables from Spoke implemented as a module that you can just attach or like add as a dependency to your project, and then boom, you can use data tables anywhere in your code, not only in Spock tests, uh, let's say in your GUnit tests, like why not? Um, and I really like this idea of modular language, where not just you know the standard library is modular, but also some of the language parts. In this case, such a powerful feature can be done as a third-party module as well.
Yeah.
Just this one most probably will be part of the official Groovy distribution, or maybe not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
still in
think
progress.
yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And should we, also maybe dive deeper in a groovy aspect of things? Just like write down in the comments if you're a groovy guy. We have a few. Um, uh, that that's
Mhm.
that's
I mean,
this language is still dear to my heart,
yeah.
and there's some cool stuff that can be done.
If we run out of ideas, we could just write a macro method for Groovy, just or you will recall your Groovy skills, and I'll guide you through. But yeah, the whole idea of this macro modules is to make it easier for anyone, not just compiler engineers, but anyone to extend the compiler. So
So
yeah, we could actually
here's
do
the
that.
idea. Here's the idea. If this video collect say 100 likes, let's write a groovy IST or like compiler that will behave as a Kafka listener in Spring Boot, without Spring Boot. Like you can annotate any method and it will automatically will start listening Kafka topic.
This is awful. Please don't do that. Never use AST transformations for the business logic. Like really.
No, it's not business logic. So you essentially you have a method, or like
Mhm.
you have a say class. You call it class. Annotate this as a like a Kafka listener, and there would be a method called listen, um, or like we have interface event listener somewhere in the GDK, right? Or somewhere in Groovy
Hmm. Yeah,
GDK.
should be.
So like you essentially implementing this interface and putting this annotation, and in this method you will be getting the Kafka key value. It would be injected as a value, and you can do whatever you want, but the IST will handle say
Mhm.
instantiation of connection, kind of like a
So
message driven
basically,
bin.
Spring Kafka, but at the compile time.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, something without external dependencies, or
Please don't vote. Don't vote.
please don't vote, don't subscribe to this channel.
Yeah.
We don't looking
And never
for
press the ring button.
no, never, and also do not send your likes. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to play around with some of the new groovy features. Maybe in future very soon. Um,
Means never.
okay, so next news, next
Yeah.
Twitter post.
Yeah. Yeah. As you may have seen, there will be a conference called JLove. And I'm very dedicated to this conference, not only because I'm in project committee, apparently, but because it's organized by Oli. And okay, let me just open this web page actually so that you see more of it. But yeah, it is a virtual, of course, conference. And just if you want to understand the level of dedication of this conference, because some conferences, they do stuff and they just, okay, we'll invite a few speakers, and and just notice that Victor is there. Cool. Okay, so we invite a few speakers,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's enough for an online conference. We will be using Zoom. We'll be doing fancy stuff, but um, you got to be dedicated to something to achieve a great result. And I do feel that the level of dedication by the organizers of the conference, and I'll be talking about the organizers a bit later, is incredible just by looking at this. I'm not sure how well my screen is framed or not,
How
but
well your
um,
screen lit? Yes, your screen framed very well. Trust me.
okay, cool. then just have a look at this profile picture, user picture, or I don't even know how to name it, but like these
Avatar.
people are so recognizable. Like I can recognize every single of them without looking at their Twitter names, which is really cool. You can even see Victor here. You see, this is Victor. Like I recognize Victor. This is super cool because I had some experiences with some of the conferences that were ordering profile pictures for their speakers, and sometimes experience wasn't that good. Like you're like, perhaps you can use my photo and not this drawing. Like nothing personal, but and here I see the opposite. Like already talking too much about it, but just something I want to talk about. I really hope that eventually, if we have to deal with online conferences, that the quality of these online conferences will be at least this good. But this is already a very high start. But profile pictures isn't the only thing. By the way, Victor, how's your experience with JLo so far?
Uh,
Did-
Zero. I just promised to submit a paper, and I I I dedicated to speak at this conference, and we're still discussing like what's gonna be Uber cool demo and the talk that I need to do, obviously around Kafka. Um, and we're still kind of like talking about this, but I've been in a Scala Love conference at the beginning of the year. That was great, great organized. I love it. And yeah, that's like the conferences who when the friends are running the best, and I really like to attend those conferences.
And partially the reason why it is so far so good is because it's organized by Oli. Um, she she's very good at organizing conferences apparently. Because
She's good,
I knew
except
her
like
speakers.
she's Scala girl, so
Oh
not the
yeah,
groovy.
that's but yeah,
No one is
like there
perfect.
got to be something minor or like
Yeah,
something negative about
no,
anyone.
no
So
one is
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, yeah, she's in love with Scala, but everything else to say about her, like she's a good organizer. So if you got to attend one conference in December, it could be a good choice. Um, and yeah, I've been speaking about it as a program committee member because I got invited and was like, "Do you want?" Yes, okay, you're invited, or like you are in. But I do hope that I will also contribute to the conference because it's my almost first experience of being in project committee. So I'm really looking forward to it. Most probably I will screw up everything, but I will do my best to not to.
That's super cool. Um, what is
Next
that?
one,
Redis.
and
Okay, Redis. Let's talk about Redis.
yes, because that's another beautiful piece of software. Actually, I mean,
It's all
Redis
right.
is one.
It's all right. I
It's good. It's really good, and even I mean, okay, most probably you're thinking about Redis streams or whatever they called.
never mind. Yeah.
And I come from from time when Redis was version 3, and it was just some the most stable part of any infrastructure. It was Redis, because the after of it, like I really recommend to just follow the guy and watch what he's doing and just he's incredibly good engineer. Although he's not working on Redis anymore, he decided to start something new, and it makes a lot of sense because he's been doing Redis for a lot of time, and I know that he is very passionate about what he's doing. So I guess something new,
Yeah,
and I'm
Salvatore
really
is
looking forward to
he's
what
yeah
will be.
he's great engineer, and like I was following his blog post even before I joined in the distributed world, and things like Hazelcast, and we start
Mhm.
measuring our um, performances.
Yeah, and we have some listeners, some watchers. How do you call people who watch you when you live stream?
Yeah,
I
watchers,
don't
like
know.
yeah
Watchers.
the
Okay,
yeah
this doesn't sound like
viewers
super cool.
viewers
Viewers, viewers. Yeah, viewers is
yeah
better and it's
yeah
easier for me to pronounce. But yeah, if you got an idea like how we should call our beloved viewers,
So we are
just
streamers. Are
let
they
me know.
what stream watchers? Stream viewers. Yeah.
Okay, so it becomes too hard. But yeah, you can see that. Okay, one is using Litus, the other one is setting up a cluster for caching, but you can definitely say that Redis is a popular technology when you instantly get some feedback. But what I wanted to highlight is that, and it's a standard, unfortunately, that's a standard thing for open source, but Litus is an open source project by a single maintainer,
Mm-hmm.
Mark Paluch from Pivotal. So Litus isn't an official Pivotal's project or VMware's at the moment, and it's not part of the Spring ecosystem. Um, and he's asking for an advice or he's open about the user support model because so far he's been doing the development alone and this doesn't scale well. So if you're using Litus, just consider chiming in and just sharing your opinions, ideas, your thoughts, um,
Experiences. Yes.
experiences
Contribute
as
code.
well. Yes.
So what's the
Yeah.
difference between Lettuce and say what is another client? There
Jedis.
was Jedis. Yeah, there was Jedis, and was another one. Um,
One is more popular, another one is more performant.
which one is more performant?
Litus, of course,
Okay, I will.
because
Let me check. I think I need to refresh my memory about Redis. No, you
I've been
can. Yeah,
using Jedis for like a lot of years. I would
I
say.
think it's default type of like if you go and looking for some
Mm,
examples, like it's just like people defaulting on.
true, true, and it was a good one. But I remember like when I wanted to start using some reactive APIs or just asynchronous APIs. Back then it wasn't even reactive. We just wanted to do something asynchronously. Uh, I figured that with Jedis, apparently it wasn't that easy or wasn't even
Yeah,
possible back
yeah, yeah.
then.
It was like a blocking, and the API was
Exactly,
not great.
exactly. Yeah. So
Holy
I
moly!
discovered
There's like a 10
Litus.
different the Redis. There's what Redison. I was
There's
talking about Redison.
Redison,
Yeah,
yeah, and a few more, I guess.
Redison
Um,
was like more like Hazelcast because they were kind of building whole platform around this, and they implementing Java collections on top of it, and they integrating the things like the my Betties, for example, or like
mhm,
Hibernate and all this kind of stuff. So it was like
mhm.
a really they were really the focusing on moving from Hazelcast to Redis. So in this case,
Mhm.
yeah, okay,
Mhm.
whatever. I'm closing this tab now.
Yeah. Um, but then I discovered Litus, and yeah, I was really surprised that I was with Jedis for such a long time because in every single aspect, I I found Litus better. I mean, I don't want to start the holy war or whatever, and I know that Jedis works and it's bulletproof, which is another good thing about the library being a bulletproof. It may not be like the top performant library, but as long as it does the thing and as long as it works without worrying, is it command supported or not? Um, yeah, that's a good thing about any library, and I do appreciate the job that Jedis folks are doing. But in case of Litus, just the way it's designed, because you can also plug custom commands with Litus. For example, if it's lagging behind in supporting some of the Redis commands in Litus, at least you can just implement your own command without having to contribute it to Litus or ask the maintainers to do so. And when there was a project
there's a
by Salvatore,
there's a
something about hmm?
there's a question like the Artyom is asking. We're suggesting to use Lattice if you are. Um, I'm sorry, I'm not showing the comment on the screen. Give me a sec. I'll fix that. Some reason when I switching the cameras, my key falls down. So so you're suggesting to use Lettuce if you're working with Redis in Java? Like, is it a true statement or not?
Oh yeah, I would definitely suggest using Litus, and yeah, it's well integrated into Spring ecosystem. And yeah, I know that it's being used widely, and the project is overall is good. Like
So
at least
I
you
would
should try.
say like in 2020 you either needs to default to either Lettuce or I didn't know that is actually pronouncing like Lettuce. Um, but I would say like either use latest. No, no,
Lettuce or maybe lettuce. No
latest
idea.
Redis. Anyway, so
Depends. Yeah.
Redis
Letuk, by the way.
Letuk Letuk.
Yeah. No, I'm not joking. Like, and you understand why? Because in Russian, lettuce is latuk. Um,
Mhm.
if I remember correctly, which means
Which
that,
means
and
what?
the words, which means that the origin of this English word most probably comes from probably French, where it is latuk or
Redis. So
something
Redis
like
in
this.
Russian, it's
No, Redis is Redis, yeah, but
yeah.
never
Um,
mind.
the what I was trying to say. Yeah, so you either use Redis or use Lettuce, in my opinion,
Mhm.
because they are mostly developing, um, and Redison even has commercial support. So
I didn't know.
yeah, there's some folks they trying to kind of like build like a consultancy shop around this. Um, I remember this from the past, from the um, from from my Hazelcast time. Like they implementing like similar like the collection interface like based on Redis because Jedison. Oh, sorry. Jedis doesn't have it.
Hmm.
It's very low level. The
Hmm.
serialization things you need to handle yourself.
Yeah.
You need to handle like all like low level stuff, whereas things like Redison or Hazelcast for that matter, they just like handle this for you. For standard Java types, there's still like out of box serializers, or you can implement your own type of jazz. So that's uh, that's the thing. So yeah, just go check this out and consider supporting project if you're using. Some people mentioned here they use it here in uh, in this chat. So that's are we done with our Twitter review?
No,
So
actually,
what's
I have a few more
okay?
if that's something that
Yeah.
chat enjoys. If not, we can also
So
interrupt and do something else. By the way.
so we kind of like looking we're trying to discover what's called kind of like a theme for the live stream. The kind of like is it like becoming a podcast? Like we're doing podcast now, where it's supposed to be like hacking sessions. I don't mind. And write down if you're watching this like live, like write in the comments if you're watching this after in offline. Just write down in the comments. Let us know what's the best format. Best practices. Okay, we have a comments that the best practices are the best for uh best practices. Yeah. So we do have
Victor,
interesting
can you
comments.
can you explain it to me? How come every time you participate in some podcast or you host some podcast or whatever, it ends up with movies?
Talk about movies as well. Um, yes, we can. Yes, we can. But we're not gonna. We're not gonna do this today. Yes, we definitely can. But we're trying to have a um like technical content and some good technical stuff around it. So, but yeah, movies are great. As a matter of fact,
TV shows guy.
movies. I think I have a conference talk tomorrow, so I will bring up back my old movies demo that for this conference talk. So if you want to see, it's called Utah Geek uh, Events, something like that. Utah. It's the that's weird with this virtual events that we're discussing, right? The um, it's just like I'm living to survive any other day. Uh, and here, that's where I'm speaking tomorrow. So if you interested this step of just maybe you wanna register. Um, so let me do this one, and I'll do this one.
And I think Movies is a
On.
to-do app of streaming. Like when JS frameworks are demonstrating their ideas, they use to-do.
Yeah.
When streaming technologies demonstrate their ideas, they use Movies, right?
No, they use word count.
No, that's for big data.
Okay. No, I mean there's like the streaming version of the big data. Can you talk a little bit about best practices of running Kafka on Kubernetes? Best practices you should not. Just kidding. So yes, we definitely can. We can talk about this. And I for my why I am showing why I'm pointing that direction. So for the show that I did yesterday in the Confluent channel, I actually plan to touch on Kubernetes very soon. So I just started after I did this reactive KSQL DB review. I decided to start like a bigger series where I will talking about best practices and the patterns for building microservices, like event-driven microservices with Spring Boot, Kafka Streams, some other cool tech. And eventually we will land in the world of deployment where I want to show some of the tricks and tips
But
and
actually,
tricks for
you know what?
Kubernetes. Yep.
I challenge you. Let's
Yes.
deploy some Kafka on Kubernetes today, maybe because I've been using Streamz as the easiest option for me.
Yeah.
But I know that there is also Confluent Operator,
Yeah.
and I would assume that Confluent Operator is also a good option. So I just want to see
Yeah.
how to deploy Kafka to
That's
some
that
Kubernetes
sounds
cluster.
fair. That sounds fair. But I would hold it for reason of we are working on rolling a new version of this operator, and
Okay.
this would be even simpler. Instead of like having Helm as you did before, and that's why you
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it. You
Yeah,
don't
I
need
hate
to.
Helm.
You don't need to do this. It would be just like a one resource
Awesome.
file
Awesome.
for Zookeeper, one resource file for Kafka, and that's it.
Amazing.
So that would be
Oh, it
like
means that I can use it with Scaffold
uh,
in
yes, you can.
easier
Yes,
than.
yes, you can
Okay.
do this with scaffold. You can use with any type of tools. And as a matter of fact, let's do scaffold. Let's do scaffold since you're using scaffold, and I always wanted to use scaffold. Um, let's just do some simple things. That's like just do the
Sure.
start.spring.io. We're getting some Spring Boot REST service that returns hello world, and we deploy this into scaffold. And I think that would be super useful, not only for me but also for some people. And I promise you, next time I will bring some of the Kafka operator. So because right now it is on, it's still on kind of like a version 2, or we call it like a version next. It is in our like close preview. We just
Mm-hmm.
working on finishing touches before KubeCon, and we were gonna be demonstrating some of the new features on the KubeCon this year in December. And but I promise you, I will bring this before KubeCon and show you sneak peek if you follow this channel.
Okay. Okay. It got recorded, so you have
Yeah,
no other option.
yeah,
You have no option other than
yeah,
making it happen.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. We will definitely do that. So I'm switching now. I'm showing your screen.
My
Um,
screen.
yeah,
No, show your screen. We'll be doing it on your screen.
scaffold on my screen. Okay, so what I need to install
Yes.
while we're doing this the Twitter review. Let me install whatever I need. Uh, and where is that? Where are we? So I will go to that live streams. Um, master. So we will switch to this one. You should be able to see my screen right now. And why I am doing this, we are doing this like this. So I do get updating my live streams. Like whatever I do, I will be posting into Demoscene repository and then the Confluent channel. So on the Confluent GitHub repository. So in this case, so let's call it live streams. It's gonna be what October 21, right? Today's 21st. 21st. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, of course you cannot. Live streams. Oops. CD live stream up October 21. Okay, so what we doing here? So it's empty folder. Let's do as always. We're starting with some of the the small stuff that we can do in where's my browser window. Start Spring.io. Too big. Let's do this one. And dependencies would do webflogs, reactive web, and because
Obviously.
on this Confluent developer, and would do scaffold. Nah, let's just do like a web service. So web service, we're using Gradle naturally. We're using Java 11. At dependencies, I will use Lombok just because I like it, and just in case because it would be messy to add it afterwards. Now, and we don't need anything else. We just will be do.
We could also add actuator just in case.
Okay, actuator to just show some um, additional stuff. Um, okay, let's do YOLO. Okay, as people suggesting in the chat.
Actually, Spring Framework 5.3 is to be released next week, if I remember correctly. And boot will follow week after next week. I need to double check, but if I remember the tweets, because I had this tweet and then I closed it, then yeah, that's the case.
So we'll do move downloads a web service zip over here. Unzip web service. Okay, cool. And we do web service in October 21. Let's see how my computer will struggle. So the one of the things that we need to use Spring Boot generate image.
No, I would not be so fast with generate image from Spring Boot.
Why?
I mean, can be easier.
I don't want to use the Docker files. I wanna use.
And you won't.
Okay, so drive, then drive. Tell me what
First
to.
of all, let's write some
web service
code. Like we don't want to deploy
empty
a dummy service, right? We want to deploy a real service.
Yeah. So in this do stop JDK. And I'm using Liberica JDK naturally because it's awesome.
Nice.
And it's official JDK for Spring Boot as well.
We have a partnership with Liberica team, and yeah.
So
we
I
do not
do
provide
class,
our own JDK, but Liberica is a good choice, I would say.
My REST controller. Sorry, Kotlin, too fast. And public. What? Just do Mono. I don't need to do Mono, right? In this case, I can just do simple stuff. I don't necessarily need to do mono. I
Yeah,
can
yeah, why
do
not?
this like a string, ring, hello, hello world, 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 and so in this case it will return. What is the duration? Not duration, or how it do in current time?
Instant don't
Uh,
now.
yeah, not duration. Yes, instant dot dot now. That's where now, and I will do hello from now. Not gonna do any fancy formatting. So in this case, it's gonna be REST controller. REST controller. Sorry, 14 years old me. Get mapping, and I'll just do slash hello, and that's it, right?
Yep, it's good.
Looking good. We're going into want to show you something cool. So I learned that iTerm actually can be used. Snap! It cannot do this on the second window. So iTerm has this ability to have a like a terminal that will pop up from the top,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like the Quake. If you ever done the Quake.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Quake terminal and you entering some cheats there.
Mm-hmm.
HTTP. Uh,
Oh, IDD QD.
yeah, yeah, but like I'm more like a Quake 2 where you need to like go to mode on type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, and it works and it shows us different time all the time. Yep. So we have a service.
Okay, looks good. So what I suggest is we use Jib.
Yep. That sounds good as well. So Jib
Mm-hmm.
is why you don't want to use the boot built image. Uh,
Because I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, okay. Let's try it. That's okay. So I
Okay,
I, I tried it. I know how it works. Kind of
awesome.
sorta. So in this case, there's a few options. People, if you never use
Mm-hmm.
this, I think it supports Jeep. It supports naturally, and the Jeep does the thing. It understands the Spring Boot structure, so it will uh, bring this stuff without any problems. And the Spring Boot build image is using build packs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's slightly different. Maybe it is even more opinionated than Jib, but so here's the thing with this. I think we need to have a different support for Scaffold because Scaffold supports and Jib and also supports build packs. But I also haven't tried build packs, so we will try to investigate this together. How this Scaffold can do
Mm-hmm.
this for us. Because so the
Okay.
idea of the scaffold, so for people who don't know or watching this like for the first time, it's not only give you kind of like the Kubernetes uh, the, the templates for your template, but also it allows you to perform steps like including building image, including like compiling your stuff and things like that. um, People don't pay attention. I'm just stalling because my computer is slow and the image builds really really faster. But apart from the building image, I'm also capturing my screen and doing some other stuff. Meanwhile, while it's building, let's talk to people. Let's see some comments.
There was a question. What is this HTTP tool? Let's share some love on
Okay, yeah,
HTTP5.
absolutely. So, what's the difference build image and the build image and Docker build? So it's the same, but the way how it works. Let me actually show my screen so people know it. I'm showing Sergey's screen now. I'm showing my screen. What's the difference between build image? It's just like this Spring Boot comes with a plugin for Gradle, Spring Boot, and one of the targets called the Spring Boot build image it actually builds Docker image, but in order to build this, it doesn't use Docker file, it doesn't use zip, it uses things so called build packs. And build packs, it is a opinionated way how you can run applications in environments like Cloud Foundry. And essentially, build packs came from Cloud Foundry, from Heroku. They use kind of like a similar approach, and after a certain time, they decide to join forces and they come up with this CNCF project called build packs. If you go to buildpacks.io or something like that, um, and essentially it knows based on certain characteristics the way how, for example, Spring Boot knows that you want to run your the I don't know, Hikari GDBC drive, Hikari GDBC pool, because it finds Hikari in your class path and finds a driver to your database. Similar build packs based on certain, say, like we're running this, it's going to be Spring Boot, and the Spring Boot requires like certain things to be output here, and it provides image for this. So if I'll do Docker images, grep web. So it should show me my web service. This is what image that was just generated for me. So, and the I need to. I don't. Did I push it? No, I didn't push it to Docker. So we can do this after. And the scaffold is actually should be able to push it for me, right? So we have a web service. We have this image, and so what's the HTTP? So HTTP is it's a library that's p version. It's called HTTP. Like if you will googling, you will get something HTTP, like something like this. Let me see if we have TLDR HTTP, if it has a documentation. Yeah. So this is what that's what you will get if you go in there. So HTTP, it's amazing. Just like it's much better than curl. It has colors, people. Like everything is much better when it has a color. So HTTP is incredible. Now the okay, so let's get over with this stuff. Now do scaffold. Scaffold.
Scaffold with K.
Scaffold. Yeah, that's because it's a Kubernetes project. Like Mortal Kombat is also Kubernetes project because it's with K. Get scaffold. Let's see if I do have it. Mac OS. Can I do something like yeah? Spring Boot. Install scaffold. And also, like I use this amazing tool called TLDR. It's essentially shows me some of the widely used documentation items, like similar to man, but
user friendly.
Yeah, but user friendly, and it's like short. Like in the man, like I have everything, but here I just how I can submit post request, like for example, in this case, or how I can submit a JSON object or things like that, right? So the similar things that that you probably doing this like every day and you're googling, and
yeah.
But in this case, it is not. So where's the scaffold? Okay, I do have it installed, as a matter of fact. So where this is where I need to quick start. So let's do this one. Scaffold Spring Boot, right? Hey, and there's it's Google search. Continuous boot deployment with Kubernetes. And as always, we go into first 3 links. This is my hacking approach. I'm going and hacking around. I never tried this before. and I don't afraid to f this up. Okay, Minikube. We're not gonna use Minikube for now. We're gonna be using
What are
uh
you using, by the way?
I will be using a Docker for Mac. But
Okay.
it's not gonna be very interesting to use this. We will run this in the real cluster. I will be using this in GCP.
Oh,
Um,
because you are rich.
say it again.
Because you are rich.
Not me, but why this froze? My computer froze a little bit. So Marvin compile zip Docker build. No, I don't wanna Spring. Is there any way how I can init zip? What
Hmm?
about build packs? The zip is not interesting. Zip, Sergey actually Sergey showed this zip thing in
Mm-hmm.
one of the live streams that we just did in the very beginning. Um, build.
I think it
Uh,
was the second episode where we were deploying stuff
yeah.
with ship. Um, or maybe it was the first
So
one.
let's
I
see.
don't remember.
Simplify deployment. Need to something more
But you know what?
fresh. We need something more
I'm looking at the
fresh.
scaffold documentation, and I see build pack support. Apparently, they added build pack support. I didn't know because I was
It
just
is. Yeah.
assuming.
I know that
Yeah.
it definitely does that.
Hmm.
Holy smokes.
What I
No, we're
don't
not gonna.
understand is this dependencies section. Do I really need to list them, or is just for local development? Yeah, I guess it's for local development. The thing I never use because I
So
run tests
March 20th,
because
but
I
maybe
care
something
about my code.
fresh. Let's see. Minikube again. Everyone start with Minikube. Freaking Minikube. Um, create Spring demo. Hello
But does
controller.
it really matter? I
That's
mean,
what already
with
did
Kubernetes,
this.
the whole thing shouldn't matter.
Scaffold
Wait a
init.
second.
Okay. So in this, let's do this one. So it says scaffold init. Okay, one or
While
more
you're
valid
eating,
builders
okay,
must be
why would
present.
you doing your thing, Victor? Just like, what's wrong with all this Kubernetes stuff? Like, why people like I mean, it makes me so mad when you see installation guides for, to install on AWS Kubernetes, do this. To install on Google Cloud Kubernetes, do that. I mean, isn't the whole point of Kubernetes was to unify it? Like, why do we have to have separate pages for,
I
you
know,
know,
right? That's
different
crazy.
ways?
So
Yeah, I mean,
init.
something went wrong.
It's just like it's yeah. I think we are okay. Let's see if I'll do. Can I do uh let's do analyze. What it will show us. Analyze fault print or false. Um, Docker compose.
Maybe it's just easier to write this YAML file by hands.
No.
That's what I do.
It's yeah. I understand, but like I'm lazy and I'm dumb. So build packs.
Okay.
Here we go. Build packs. How does it work? Cloud native build packs is blah blah blah. That's what we do in this one. So and build section to build Docker image with build pack. But let's do this one once again. Build path. Build packs. Spring Boot developed with scaffold. I just want because the majority of see what they're doing here. Like people
Hmm.
in the pivotal, they spend the time to support the build packs, and there's a whole community of build packs, and no one is using this. And like all these examples are going to uh, into Spring Boot build packs. Let's
Wait a
try
second.
to yeah. let's
What
get back.
was wrong with that build packs documentation section? Yeah, this one.
Yep, enable
Press
scaffold
to be tried.
support class using Docker local login. So performs inside the container using builder and build pack configuration. To use build pack, add build pack field to each artifact and you specify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do this one. So we skip
Yep.
build. We do this one, skip build, and after that we will populate this manually. Skip build true. Kubernetes manifests are required to run scaffold. What? I thought the whole purpose of init is to generate this the manifest.
Well, it won't generate Kubernetes manifest for you. It will just deploy it, but and build the images. But you need to provide, manifest.
Okay, deployment then.
We are going deeper into the Kubernetes hole.
So like poor people, like we are kind of like we live in this world. We are like teaching people this stuff, right? But like how the people would need to know that they need to do this. Deployment .yaml. It's crazy, and I'm writing YAML now. So we're doing this for likes. So can we do
writing YAML for likes?
Yeah, like some people.
This sounds like a good job description.
Yeah, so I will just like go ahead and steal it because I know the okay, yes, deployment example. Yep, that should be.
It's gonna be funny because I'm a big fan of Knative, and I'm like, you should be doing it in Knative way. But yeah, let's continue.
What's the Knative way?
Oh, Knative way is like 4 lines of YAML.
Yeah.
Versus like 1,000 lines of YAML just to deploy a simple thing.
Yeah. So deployment method name, web service, deployment. The app, the web service. Replica is just one. Matching label, app, web service, labels, web service, web service, and container. And the image is, where is it? Our image, this one.
This one won't work.
Why?
Because you need to provide a registry image.
Yeah. So I'll just do Docker push some. How I can do this one with the local image? I still need to use. Okay, so
you need to tag it with the correct name.
Like this one won't work, right?
Nope.
Or like even library or something like that. So
you can read tag.
So let's do this one then. Spring Boot build image plugin. I just want to see how I can customize name. The Spring Boot plugin. Boot plugin and for Gradle.
I just noticed that when you was typing, one of the suggestions was Spring Boot build image 40 years ago. I don't think it's that old, but okay.
I think that the package in OCI image. I think this is what there is some sort of like a convention to do so. Yeah, there's some convention in order to have a like if you're using latest, it will be using like some whatever version. Property image customization. Okay, property. Image name. So I will do dash image name. So if I'll do Gradle boot.
While we're doing, by the way, this build pack support is actually a very cool thing because I've been like in my past I've been creating images, Docker images from Spring Boot services with Docker file, but it was very painful because like you can't properly cache the build. I mean, you could cache some layers and maybe even resolve some dependencies before you compile your application, but you had to do it manually. And even before the multi-stage Docker files, it was, or like, especially before the multi-stage Docker files, was really painful. But the idea of the build pack is that instead of using a linear Docker file where you cannot really merge layers, you cannot swap the JDK layer, you have to rebuild everything. But with build packs, you can actually combine your application out of layers. And also, it is imperative so that you can cache your dependencies without affecting the build, and it speed up the build really, really greatly. Like here, you can see that a lot of things were already downloaded, and I see that, okay, the JDK layer has changed. It's fine because he changed the image, and then the cache for the image will be restarted. But the next build will be, or should be, really
Would
fast.
be much faster.
Yeah, yeah. So consider looking at build packs as much faster alternative to
So
Docker files
Docker
where it is available.
Docker push, and I will pushing this one. Uh,
I think you're not doing it right
why?
because Scaffold will be building and pushing for you,
Oh,
or
really?
at least it should.
But
Yeah,
you said
that's the
yeah,
point.
that's the point. Okay, image.
Yeah,
This
so
one.
let's just do some Scaffold magic.
Ports
And
880.
remove the version, by the way, because it will Scaffold will replace it for you.
So this one.
Uh-huh.
And which port will how we can
8080.
8080, all right. So
Always.
that should be deployment. Okay. While it's doing this, we'll continue. So you said scaffold init like this. We're doing this one scaffold init build skip like this. Okay, so what do we have? So there's Kubernetes manifest. What kind of manifest it needs to have?
So what I would do, I mean, I really don't. I don't really use this, init tasks from
You're
tools.
doing this manually, right?
Yeah, because it's just 6-7 lines of YAML. I think.
All right, let's
It's
do this
something
one.
that we can handle.
It's scaffold.
Yeah, it's scaffold.yaml.
Scaffold.yaml. Yes, we're adding this one, and there was a just like no, I just like I like to use I work in
Just say it. You like to copy paste.
yes, I work in the world when the people using I need to show this like this stuff needs to be repetitive. The this is my image, right? So I need to I need to put this like a full image like this. All right.
Probably. Yeah.
So that's it. Okay, so I have this scaffold YAML.
And you need to set the context to web service because you're running your web service, or like you're storing your web service in a subfolder. So next to image, put something like context, and then put
like
the
this.
web service. Yeah, where to find the service.
Something
because
like this.
Scaffold is designed for mono repos because it's from Google, and then you most probably will have multiple projects in a single repo, and you need to hint Scaffold like where to find
no plugin for Scaffold. Okay, what next?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable, yeah.
Actually, I don't even know whether it's gonna work or not. Let's just do Scaffold build.
What could go wrong? Some weird names. Okay. 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 Yep, I'm stupid. Yep.
Parent folder. Yeah.
Wrong folder. So in this case, maybe even init would work, right?
Could be.
Let's try.
Okay.
Huh. Huh. Okay, so let's see. Okay, just I'll do.
Just use dash dash force.
Yay. Let's see if it generated the
Oh
same.
my god.
Oh wow.
It worked.
Yay. Find the manifest. Name October 2020. Name my web service. It find deployment, but
That's good. But
uh,
obviously, it doesn't know how to build your service. So let's just roll back.
yeah. So in this case,
Or actually, you can copy this. Yeah.
yeah, we're using the just like the fresh. Even documentation doesn't know what to use. Build and deploy metadata. Oi, oi. YAML. Okay, let's do this one. Scaffold build.
Yeah, let's try it.
No, nice.
Whoa.
No, nice. Okay, so it's
Something is going on.
okay. So now it uses Docker. My Docker. It gets a image with a scaffold builder. I guess this is well, not a scaffold. It gets this image. So this is what we're downloading right now. We'll see, and that's also a good thing to have. The freaking I hate this so much. This the the OBS is just like drives me nuts. For some reasons, it's just always resetting Sergei's window. So that's why I need to fix it manually. So I just switched to our window, and it's fixed that. Okay, we're doing something interesting. Okay.
Jeez, it works.
Yeah. So
Hoover.
essentially, it's what the way I understand. So right now, it would not gonna using my Spring Boot Gradle build. It will be using this special builder that will come with scaffold that understand how to build the build packs.
Oh,
See, so this is why it just like builds a my Gradle.
build
Uh,
cache, clean assemble.
so
Oh wow.
essentially, I don't need to do this step with Docker that I just did. We're just like just confusing ourselves and confusing people. But hey, that's live streams. That's what we
But
do.
let's see what's the result.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm really curious. And
and
imagine our viewers right now, like previous episodes, like, yeah, we contributed to test containers, we created some advanced feature, we did some networking with blah 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 blah,
and now we're adding
we
YAML.
refactored reactive code. Yeah, and here we spend like 1 hour to configure scaffold, which is just 14 lines of YAML. Oh well.
Let's see. Meanwhile, I can go and say. Uh,
But I just googled a thing by Ryan Baxter from VMware, ex Pivotal, telling us how to use scaffold, build packs, and the command to build everything. Let me just
command. What's
share
the
it with
command?
you.
What's the command? It's another tool.
No. Like command with K.
Yeah.
No, I mean like command, like normal command with
Cloud.
C. Like which command to use.
Cluster, create live streams cluster, number of nodes. Um, that's live streams cluster. Let's see if Magic Cloud will be
Oh,
able to execute.
let's see what rich people are doing. Okay, yeah. So you run one command and you're getting some clusters in the cloud.
Somewhere in
This
the
is good.
sky, somewhere in the sky, somewhere in the cloud, the
Awesome,
credit card was
awesome.
swiped. Um, and I starting this the cluster there. So and hopefully it will. Okay, it's a building building here. So lots of cool stuff is going on here.
But you know what? I'm surprised that like this thing is currently doing something. I mean, this implicit detection of Gradle project. I mean, I'm not trying to. I mean, like, I'm just sharing my thoughts. Like the implicit detection of Gradle and building the whole
So
thing, and
that's
oh,
cool.
this is
Okay,
cool.
if I'll do
Can you run
Docker.
it locally? Just run it locally. I want to see it. What's inside? We would also configure the port. I don't think so, but
Like a
let's give
Docker
it a try.
run. Um,
Dash IT dash rm.
and I'm running this the Gamuse
Ports. Don't forget the ports. Dash p 80 80 80 80.
and sir, let's see.
Why is it Gamusa? Can you tell me?
That's awesome. Wow, it's running.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the long story. So essentially, it started as my um, it was my nickname in a quick three arena. And I
Oh,
just
nice.
like started using this one everywhere, and it's just like yeah, that's that's who I am apparently now.
Okay.
Um,
So it's not like Gamov in USA. You
no, no,
get
no,
that
no,
in
no,
USA, in USA. Okay, I'm
no.
just kidding. Yeah.
USA is So we do HTTP. Come on. HTTP. Uh, 8080.
Get the port first because you assign it to random port. Dash P will be using a random port.
No? Okay. The
Docker PS or yeah, rerun it.
Just do it
Whatever
right.
works for you. There's a command like minikube for poor people. Yeah, for poor, but at least smart because I'm not smart enough for minikube. Like I was trying to configure minikube on my machine and I miserably failed. So I ended up using Docker for Mac as well.
Yay!
And oh wow, I mean this is really cool. How
Yay!
how did it?
Freaking awesome. Okay, so the next step is
This is awesome indeed.
do so we're killing this. It works. Let's see if our cluster is ready. Is it ready? No? Yes, it's ready. So I just do kubectl kube ctx and live streams cluster. Yeah, that's uses correct cluster. And if I'll do this one and I go here, I don't need this anymore. Just kill this. So what we do in here, ctl ctx, if make sure that I'm using the correct one. Yes, it switched. So
By the
I
way,
was do
Naveen is
scaffold.
commenting and saying that on Windows 8.1, there's no other choice than Minikube, if I understood him correctly. I know that in one of the latest releases of Windows 10 Basic, they added support for Hyper-V, which is used by Docker for Mac or Docker for Windows. So that I'm just curious if you update Windows 10
Yeah,
Basic,
that should work.
yeah.
So so how I can do deploy without the tag? Just deploy,
You need to. So deploy isn't enough. Let me.
run,
Yeah, scaffold run. It will build
dirty.
and deploy because otherwise deploy will be using the manifests from the file system while run will build replace in memory
So I
the
would be
reference to the
I would
image
be
and then deploy.
uh the Windows on Linux. It's not the W. How it's called?
Windows subsystem for Linux.
Yeah, VSL. Yep.
Although it's Linux subsystem for Windows, but yeah.
Because it's a Windows that like scaffold dev. I don't know. Like I haven't tried it. So let's see. Let's see run. It looks like it's doing something and it's sending
Yeah.
something. I would be surprised if it actually within like 5 minutes that we have left, we will be able to accomplish this simple thing. Um,
Mm.
uh, the but that would be very cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah, definitely.
I just want to see. Thanks, Sergey, for a link. I want to see if um, if I will be able to use this with the Spring Boot image, this stuff, because it would be really cool.
Well, we should be.
Um, you know what? I think I didn't deploy load balancer or ingress, but because I don't have
We can
external.
port forward or
Yeah, we'll just
yeah, I
simple
think we
thing.
can
It's
port
like
forward.
not everything
Yeah.
in the.
I
Uh,
mean, even if the thing starts on Kubernetes, that will already be a great achievement of this
yeah.
1 hour, right?
Yes. Um, but the traffic and like the sizes of the images, like, oh boy. It's good that we
Uh,
have a God bless unlimited internet and gigabit speed that I have in my house. The Verizon, you're the best guys.
Speaking of the rich people,
Yeah,
yeah,
deployment failed. What is this container waiting for? Which Nginx? What the hell? The deployment. Yeah, containers, the web service. Why it's not container waiting for start error container start web services can be pulled. Why is that?
by the way, can you open your scaffold file?
Yep.
Docker IO web service, and your deployment YAML. Let's try Docker IO because I think it wasn't
Yes.
able to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's a Google, it will use Google thing by default, I guess.
really?
Yeah, I think GCR
Oh,
images needs or like
mhm,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's the cool thing about
That's
scaffold. By the
nice.
way, you see,
That's
it
nice.
detected that the image is already built and it is available remotely because it does some local cache checking and
Yeah, that's dope.
calculates some digest. I think hashing stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Meanwhile, while we wait.
Oh, since we're here for knowledge sharing, um, let me share some knowledge because this is very annoying. Let me. So in scaffold, there's a bug, like huge bug. I'm not. I'm surprised that this thing even made it to real world
It
usage.
works.
But
Yeah.
um,
One, two,
how
three.
Kubernetes works? There are two ways of annotating things. Like you can add an annotation and you can add label. Um, and why it is annotation versus label? Because you can select by labels, if I remember correctly, but you cannot select by annotations. So annotations solve some, informational purpose. Um, but another thing about labels versus annotations is that only one of them gets kind of hashed when
Nice.
someone attempts to. Okay, it's working. But let me just finish this thing. Um,
And I'm
when
not
someone
sharing
attempts
screen,
to
so
to
no
perform
one,
some.
no one here to witness our greatness. Unfortunately, yes, I was not sharing. I was sharing yours. Yeah, I'm sharing your screen, but like the cool stuff is
My screen.
happening on
Oh,
my screen.
okay. So, but yeah, I'll be quick. So, long story short, Scaffold was or still using label for run ID, and run ID is some generated value that gets generated locally for you every time you run Scaffold run. It's used for logs, and if you want to see the logs of your service after you run scaffold run, then it will know that it should be using this run ID and not some previous run ID from already deployed services. But the problem is that if you're using Knative, for example, that will be comparing the definitions of your service. It will see a new definition every time you run scaffold run. That's a major bug. And
So error,
there is currently.
and we will have hello, hello works and actuator.
Perhaps you can share your screen later and show that it all works. Or
I'm
is it
doing
my
this
screen or
right
your
now.
screen?
I'm showing this on my screen. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
sorry, mate.
So
Uh, so yeah, the
that's okay.
finish with your bug. Yeah, but it works. You know, within money and budget. Like probably slightly over budget because we just like start new Kubernetes cluster. But hey,
Awesome, awesome. But yeah, if you're using Scaffold and let's say Knative, then you may have an issue because every time you deploy with Scaffold, Knative will see it as a new deployment, and it will create a lot of deployments. Then Istio may misbehave because when it sees a lot of ingresses generated by Knative, it starts getting mad. So there's an ongoing effort of replacing label with annotation for run ID that
yeah,
won't
that's
affect the hashing.
something that we also internally discussed, like to replace some of the annotations because some of the tools that we're using might not work.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but like
Cool.
yeah, so friends, family, our followers, like dear team. So that would be it for today. That because I have appointment and I need to drive there. I want to say huge thanks to my colleague and friend Sergey that he's also spending his time with us. I'm extremely excited that we not only chatting and doing some of the, you know, talking, but also we're doing typey stuffs, and that we were able to within like 30 minutes like build the service. See, it's a highly scalable and highly available hello world applications, right? That's that's what we do. We build a Spring Boot application with REST service. We deploy
With
this
REST
into
YAML.
Kubernetes. We brought a YAML. Yeah. So what I did today, I wrote some YAML today. Also, we use new tool. We will continue to explore this because it is super cool. Like, yeah, I will be using Scaffold because I will be showing some microservices on Kubernetes. Like, if it will be definitely a tool in our tool belt that allows us to do this kind of stuff, and like a GitOps and all these kind of things will be in this channel. And yeah, that's thank you so much for our regulars who finding the time to join. Bring family, bring the friends, tell them about live streams because it's awesome. And Sergey, any last words?
My last words: set run ID environment variable in Scaffold to prevent it mess up the caching, the hashing, the stuff. Okay, I finished.
Are you trolling? Oh yeah, that's
No, I'm
that's
not.
that's so good. That's so good. All right, follow Sergey in Twitter if you don't. If you didn't, if you're not doing this right now, there's a Twitter down below here. My Twitter is also over there, so just like follow us there. Watch all episodes of live streams. As a matter of fact, have you seen this? I do have this signed live, meaning that it's a live streams. You see, where's it? Yep, this one. This is live. Um, stay with us. For wait until next